Friends, I cannot think of a better review to start off like my video reviews for 2026 because goodness, this series diving back in, so wholesome, so precious, you need to read it if you haven't already. Hello friends, happy Friday, so very excited to be here. I know there's like a huge giant ice storm that's coming, at least for where I live. We have the chance to get an inch of ice. Yes, so I'm making sure I film this video on time, which it'd have to be if it's gonna be going live on Friday, but never mind the ramble. I'm just so excited to feature this manga. I featured it in I think it was like top 5 cozy reads I absolutely adore, and this manga was easily on that list, and that is Pupposites Attract. Oh my goodness, 3 volumes. Volume 4 releases, I believe, in April. I know it's coming and I'm ready. After rereading volume 3, I'm like, I need volume 4 ASAP. That hasn't changed. I want to say a huge shout to my Patreon and channel members. They voted out of 4 series of what I should read, excuse me, and do a review on, and they voted for this, so thank you, and stay tuned for, I guess, in about 2 weeks. For the next poll, I'll be doing asking what I should read and review next month. I'm very excited, but goodness, let's take a moment to talk about this manga in case if you're not familiar with it. It is about our 2 leads. This is Chiharu and this is Kiyotaka. I believe that's both of their names, how you say them. And this is her dog, Tsuba-chan, who's so adorable. He's a Rottweiler. And his dog, Manjiro, which is a Pomeranian. Just from this cover alone, you can sort of see that like their dogs, they have an interesting choice for dogs. You would sort of feel like they would switch them, that he'd have the Rottweiler because he's a tall, muscular guy. He has sort of a scary face at times, but inside he's actually a little bit of a scary cat. So you would think he would have a Rottweiler. Meanwhile, our female lead is rather reserved. She's on the, I don't think she's short, but she looks short compared to him. So you would think that she'd have this cute, fluffy kind of dog, but they do not. These are their dogs. And so the story centers around them in the beginning of them really being, as the title says, completely opposite of what they think. Right here, and what I mean is like, she is like, I would totally worry that I would crush the very cute Manjiro, while he's like, oh my goodness, I don't even know if I can handle a dog like this. And for several chapters, we're seeing this difference, and they start to get to know each other, and they're like, oh, you know, maybe she has a big scary dog, but who's ultimately not actually scary and very sweet and very precious. But at first glance, or based off like a first impression, he's like, oh, there's much more to her, and she's not as intimidating. Yes, she's very strong, but she's very kind and very sweet. Same for her with him, where she's like, oh my goodness, how does he not crush this little dog when he's this big tall guy? And he is a firefighter, so she knows that he has strong muscles and just a lot of strength. They are continually amazed by one another, but she starts to see that he has a very strong sense of justice. He's very loyal, extremely kind, could be a little bit timid and sort of a fraidy cat, I think as somebody said, but has a heart of gold. And so it's these two who are total opposites coming together and having a very slow burn romance with plenty of dog shenanigans. I don't have a pet dog. I did growing up though. We had at least 2 or 3 almost every part of my life. It wasn't really till I moved out and got married that I discovered that I had dog allergies, and my family has severe cat allergies and a little bit of dog allergies. So usually they could just take some Claritin and be fine, but the cats now, unfortunately, that is a lot more extreme. But anyway, that leads me to say you don't have to be like a super big dog lover to appreciate this manga or even to enjoy it. The creator, I think at the end of this volume, says that it's a feel-good kind of story, and I feel that is 100% true. If you enjoy slice of life manga, you will really enjoy this. The art is very cute. Ultimately, it's just the story. I love seeing these two have these surprise meetings where they slowly start to change how they view the other person and start being like, oh, hey, it's you again on our dog walk. I'm so excited to see you. I also appreciated that while we have these cute slice of life moments, like this is where the romance is starting, you're like, oh, this is gonna be a romance. I'm like, yes, I am on board. I am on board. But they start having these little interactions that are super cute, super wholesome, very much enjoy them. But I was surprised in each of these 3 volumes, we get backstories. Like the first volume, we get Tsuba-chan's backstory of how him and the female lead met, how she came to adopt adopt him. Very, very wonderful. In the second volume, we get another dog, well, Manjiro's, we get their backstory. Really love how, yes, this is a pet dog manga for sure, but I definitely love how when we get that backstory, we see that our male lead here, that he has so much love for his family and things with his brother. I absolutely love, like, it was a very precious and emotional little chapter. And then in the third volume, when we meet a new character in volume 2, we see another backstory of a different dog and their owner. And I love that. I feel it adds maybe a deeper emotion to this manga, and that, you know, you start it, you're like, okay, this is a cute slice of life, and it's cute from start to finish, don't get me wrong. But I don't know, it just had this subtle layer that I wasn't expecting of like, oh, this is just feel good vibes. But then you get these backstories, you're like, man, there's a lot of heart between this dog owner and their pet, and it's very beautiful to see. And I love how there is a few moments, like I think there's a chapter in this volume, in the second one, where we see from the dog's perspective and how much they love their owners and how they have their own personalities, which dogs do, but you know, this is told from a human's point of view. So it's nice to see those moments, because I really feel like both, well, all of the dogs that we meet, they really, you can see how they're interacting with their owner and how their owner understands them. Like, I love when there is a moment where they're sort of thinking, should we go on this vacation? She's asking Suba-chan, like, hey, you know, do you think you would go? He thinks about it, and then he walks off and he grabs the suitcase. So I love how there's these moments where you can see how close the bond is between them. And then also those chapters of seeing it from the dog's point of view, because Manjiro, she is hilarious. Like, if the owners have two different personalities, so do the dogs. But I love how they just come together and they have this beautiful friendship. Manjiro, I mean, I don't know if I have a favorite character, because I love all the characters. Let me finish talking about what I say with Manjiro, because I feel like there's a really strong point of this manga that I deeply enjoy that I want to mention. But Manjiro, she's just so full of energy. Now, I've never been around a Pomeranian, so I don't have any kind of experience there of how crazy they are. I mean, I know they have a lot of energy, but Manjiro brings it in spades. She is so, oh my goodness, like, look right here. She's so cute. She brings so much life to the page. Like, you can really feel her emotions and her expressions of just, look at the cuteness. I was trying to find one. She gets very grumpy, and you can just see the grumpiness. Yes, you could see it physically with your eyes, but I mean, like, you could tell the grumpiness, the expression that is woven on page. I think it's in volume 3, because I thought it was just the cutest thing, and really feel like it was a good panel that expresses how much, you know, you can't always see Suba-chan's eyes, because, and there's like a page that's dedicated to that, because he has, you know, he has black fur surrounding his eyes, so you can't see them, but there's moments where you do see those eyes, and the way it delivers for this story is, it works so well. It really, this is a great example of like where they're both thinking like, oh, visually they really match when it comes, and it does when you see this page. I'm like, you know, I really like how different they are. I really like how different they are, especially, you know, when you get that backstory. It's very, very cute and wonderful. Okay, I finally found it. It was in volume 3. Look at her expression. She was so not happy that they had to leave where they were at. And even Suba-chan has like a moment. I love how he has his little nervous sweat though. He has such a big heart. He's a very timid, I must say little dog. He's a very timid dog, but he's so big, and he just, he has a heart of gold, and I really love how caring he is. So I feel like the art really just amplifies the unspoken words that are being said by these dogs. But the thing I wanted to mention that I love, okay, I'll be honest, I am one of those readers in manga, if there's a couple I really love, I do not like when it shifts to a different couple. I think of Imakoi, which was a series I deeply enjoyed. I have a first impression on this channel, and I bought all of the physical volumes right as it was coming out, and I unfortunately let the manga go because I love the main couple so much. And that is a series I was so devastated when it sort of shifted and focused on a different couple. Was it bad? No. It just wasn't personally what I wanted more of, and I knew that it was a series I wouldn't come back to except for the first half, and I'm like, well, if I really want to come back to it, my library does have it. I bring that up to say that when I was thinking of that and how this series does it, because we have our main leads, and they are the focus of the entire series. But we also meet new characters in volume 2, and the transition was perfect. I really thought the first time I read this that I would not like that. That I'm like, no, bring me back to the leads. I don't want to meet this new girl, even though she looked really cool. Like her first introduction, she looks awesome, okay? Right here. She looks amazing. I love how she dressed and loved her interaction that we have at the beginning, especially with her dog. In my mind, I was thinking like, I don't know if I want this, but yes, I have really loved how this creator has shined or put like a spotlight on our leads, and we see the romance slowly blooming between them, but we also have time and attention dedicated to these side characters who I am just as invested in. I never ever imagined that that would happen. We even have another character in volume 3 that I'm like, okay, he's very quirky, but I'm excited to see more of him, and it really just surprised me, and I felt like it really speaks on the creator's writing skills. Not saying it doesn't for Emo Koi, but I feel like there's just this wonderful balance of where you're getting the romance I desperately want between the leads, but you're also getting these other side characters who are just as engaging and just as fun, but they're not stealing that spotlight from the main characters that I love. I just really enjoyed how these chapters were put together. I just felt like everything flowed so well, and there was never a boring point. But I think if I ever thought, maybe potentially, I doubt it though, I can't even imagine that, but just as an example, if I thought there would be a boring point coming, I feel like the creator just introduces a new character that brings some fun to the page that I really enjoyed. I don't know, that was just one thing that really stood out to me. So if you're a similar reader where you're like, no, like I like having the occasional chapter with side characters from their point of view, but I don't want like a whole volume dedicated to them, you do get several chapters, and I mean, you get backstory with them. It's great. Don't worry. It always comes back to our leads, and I really love how where this volume ended, where all of the characters are sort of intertwined and they're all invested in what's going on. Everybody is in on this and knows like, something's happening here. Something's happening. And I do feel it is a slow burn romance, as I said before, but I really love in this third volume of just, oh my goodness, you can tell it's getting less and less slow burn as it goes on, because our male lead, he's noticing her feelings, and I'm like, don't be in denial. Don't be in denial. You like her. You genuinely like her, not just as a friend. Like, do not deny the feelings. Do not deny them. Like, no, please embrace these feelings. So I was very proud of him because he does get really nervous. And so I was proud of him of how things came about and what he did, what he asked. And yes. And I have no worries. Like, it did end on a little bit of a cliffhanger for this volume, but like, everything's fine with the romance. It's good. I don't even need to worry. But I'm excited. It is a very wonderful series. And I knew that this was a series that I would come back to and super enjoy. And yes, rereading it, I felt I loved it just as much as the first time. I had the same reaction in the sense that I was really happy after I read it. I felt like a definite mood booster as soon as I read it, and just a really good time. Like, it genuinely brought a lot of joy to my day and brightened my day, especially for this week when it's been really busy. I'm a day behind due to things that were happening on Monday, and so it's been hard to get back into things and just get everything done. But I felt like every time I made time to read, I was like, I feel better. I feel happier. I feel like I could go about my day or go to bed at night and not be worried about all the things I did or did not do that day. It was lovely. It was absolutely lovely. And the art is very great. And this is a very fun and, as I said before, a feel-good Josei romance that just makes you happy. And I don't think you need to be this huge dog lover. I do think you need to like dogs though, and not mind reading about them, because that is a huge charm of this series, especially of so much cat manga, which is great, but it's so nice. I mean, that's why I originally picked this up, because I'm like, a dog themed manga? Like, we need to support it. We need to support it. And it has really lived up to my expectations the first time I read it, and the second time. I cannot recommend it enough. Again, thank you, Patreon channel members, for voting for this, that I would read it or reread it and do a formal review, because I just think more people should pick up this series. I think there's a lot of heart to it and those feel-good vibes that I just can't get enough of. And it does have, as I shared before, it's not just slice of life. There is some underlying heart where you have these sort of, sometimes I feel like emotional chapters, because you get the backstory, you're like, That's so sweet. That's so cute. You know, it just makes your heart feel good. Yes, highly, highly recommending it. I can't wait for volume 4. Like, please release sooner rather than later. And I don't even think there's any news about volume 5 in Japan. I need these volumes so much quicker because it makes me very, very happy. But I would love to hear from you, friends. What are some manga titles that make you happy, or some slice of life manga you would recommend? I would love to know. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. Bye!